This is gonna be a very laid back video. It's probably gonna take a while to record. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a bit tired. I've literally been trying to get a video up all day and I'm having a lot of issues with it. So that video that I'm trying to get up is gonna go up later. But for now, I'm gonna make a video or basically just talk to you guys because it's something that I definitely want to do more on the channel. Because I just like interacting with you guys, and I know this isn't really interacting. This is going to be more of a story time video because I got a story that I want to tell in this video. But I do want to make more of these like talk videos where I just like ask you guys questions, or I ask you guys to give me your opinion on some stuff. Because I really enjoy making these kind of videos, and they're also much easier to get like online because they take a lot less time to make. So I'm gonna try to do these more often. I can't promise though, because it does take a lot of like effort and I don't have a lot of that. And we're gonna start off strong because we're gonna start off with a story that it goes back not too long. It goes back to like January 2019, and it's probably, I would go to say, one of the most important stories of my life. This story has to do with what was possibly the thing that made me change myself more than anything else, and it kind of goes against a lot of like habits and a lot of stuff that I say nowadays. But keep in mind, a lot of this stuff was like early 2019. A lot of the stuff that I'm gonna tell, like 60% of the stories early 2019. So I was really different back then. This is the story of a mysterious girl who basically changed my life. January 26th, 2019, I was sitting in my room, casually browsing around on Discord in a server that I was very active in. And I was just browsing around, I was just chatting with people, basically just spending my time in a nice way, and I was just having a lot of fun. And then like more and more people joined in like on the conversation. I kept meeting new people. It was really fun to do, and I kept seeing this person like join in on some conversations every once in a while, and everyone always treated her as this like really high up person, that they always treated her as if she was like, I don't know, some sort of like celebrity or something. Like everyone was super nice to her, like much nicer than they were to other people. Not saying they weren't nice to other people, but the way most people treated her was an exception. And I had seen her like join in on conversations earlier, but this time it went a bit further. We were talking about something in the server, and it kind of got to the point where the conversation started to escalate a bit, to the point where it started to violate the server rules. So we decided wisely that we were going to take the conversation to DMs, me and her, which we did. We kept talking there, and basically from that point we didn't stop talking. We just kept going. We like talked out everything about said conversation in like 20 minutes, but we kept just talking and talking and talking about basically everything. It was a really weird experience because I remember I was just sitting in my room, and then after like the first hour I had to go walk my dog, and as I was walking my dog, at a certain point I realized I could not stop thinking about that conversation, and I got back and I found myself like running up the stairs back to my computer because I wanted to keep talking to her, and she wasn't like online when I came back because she was like buying something. She was like buying candy or some shit, which we then talked about as well. What are we gonna call her for this video? Let's call her May. That's how I developed a friendship with May. Keep in mind, May is not her actual name, but that is what I will be calling her throughout this video to keep any sort of privacy private. May and I kept talking through and through and through. We had so much fun. Eventually we started talking about some more like deep topics. We started talking about some other stuff, and I kept finding out more and more stuff about her. Not I know that sounds creepy, but not in a creepy way, in a friend way. And keep in mind, I had never met this person. I had no idea who this was. And even to this day, I don't know. For all I know, like all this time, it could have been a fake, which I assume was not the case, but I don't know, spending that much time on Discord, it's fucking scary. And this is where I'm gonna get into the meat of the story, basically. Well, not into the meat, but I'm gonna get into some pretty hefty details. So I do want to state before I get into it that I might, like, a lot of the stuff that I will be telling will probably not be 100% true, and that's mainly due to the fact that I am doing everything I can to keep a lot of private stuff of the people actually private, but since they're such a big part of the story, it's kind of difficult. So some of the things I say might not be completely true, and I will simply be doing that to kind of not fully put the full truth out there on the internet, because that's not something I want to risk. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to be like, just don't make the video, but they are a part of a story that I kind of feel like I have to, and I kind of really want to tell. And well, that's just basically why I'm doing this. So yeah, me and May, we kept talking about things, and I kept finding out more and more stuff out about her. I kept like revealing more and more stuff about myself, and eventually it started getting pretty like heavy. I remember one of the first kind of heavy things that I found out was obviously that she had like, I don't really know what the correct term for it is, but she had like self-worth issues. And that was also probably the first time I had actually seen or talked to someone who has self-worth issues. And if you don't know what I mean people who really can't take compliments. People who, like, if you call them pretty, they'll do everything they can to convince you they are not pretty. And nowadays I know quite a lot of those people, but May was probably one of the first. And another reason why me and her sort of like clicked was because she was a pretty easy person, as in the sense of like, she didn't like overthink everything that I did or everything that she thought. Because the problem I have with a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I talk to is that I always have to be careful with what I do and what I say, because a lot of the time I like overthink something. But with me and May, that wasn't the case. We just didn't give a shit. We would like send each other like messages just full of hearts and full of, you know, really like wholesome stuff, and it got to a point where pretty much everyone would think we're a couple, but we were just having fun. And at a certain point, we got in a conversation. Well, I started a conversation in DMs, and I found out that May was a nympho. And if you don't know what a nympho is a woman with very strong sexual desires. Yeah, so basically I found out that May was one of those kind of people. And it kind of put me in a challenge, because it opened a path of conversation. Well, okay, that's just gonna sound wrong. It kind of got me intrigued, because I had never talked to a nympho before, and I had no idea what they were like. And it was a really interesting experience, actually, like getting to know that. I'm probably gonna sound like an extreme dirty-minded fuck, but I promise that's not what it is. And so once she revealed that to me, she also kind of started to talk to me about that a little bit more. She started like talking to me about like what kind of thoughts it gives her. Basically, like the first few months when we weren't that close friends, I kind of was like, I guess you could say like a therapist figure for her, because, well, she trusted me like a lot, and she just kept like telling me this really personal stuff, and I always did my best to help her with it and like listen to her about it, as I would do with anyone, because I mean that's what fucking friends are for. And at this point we just kept talking, and I started to talk about May with my other friends. And I kind of like was explaining to them like who she actually is and all that kind of stuff. Not like personal, but like in general. It was a really interesting experience. And this is also the point, which is probably the point of why I held off with making this video for the longest time, because I've wanted to do this for a while, but I'm only doing it now, and the main reason for that is what I'm going to be talking about now. Basically, after a little while of these kind of shenanigans, I realized something that I am definitely not proud of. But keep in mind, this was like February, maybe like early May 2019. I was a fucking kid. I realized that May wasn't just a friend to me anymore. I realized that I apparently, somehow, I managed to develop feelings for her through Discord. And that was mistake number one, probably. And from that point on, I kind of tried like staying as close as I can to her. There wasn't much I could do about my whole feelings thing, because she was seeing someone at like her school or whatever. And I mean, like, I never had the intention of, and that's something that just like I make to be a point. When I get like feelings for someone or whatever, my goal is never to convince them to get in a relationship with me. My goal with any of my friends is always to make them happy. Whether that means that I have to suppress my feelings, whether that means that I have to, I don't know, stop talking to someone, any of that kind of shit. If that is what will make them happy or get them on the path of being actually happy, I'm down for that, because that is what's important. I knew that there was something, at least something, that needed to be done. So what I did, I went over to one of my best friends, who was also a girl. What are we gonna call her? We're gonna call her Nora. So I went over to Nora, which isn't her actual name, by the way. I went over to Nora, and I basically told her about the whole like situation, and at first she was like, oh my god, that's so cute, blah blah blah. Then after that, obviously she like became more serious about it. So did I. We knew there wasn't much that I could do because of the person she was seeing. Also, I just realized I said that we're gonna call my friend Nora, and my username on Discord is Nora's Lewd Aspects. I promise that's a convenience. And it went on like that for like another month and a half, probably. After that was probably where the fun ended. Well, the fun didn't end, but it definitely got a lot more serious. One day, me and my family, we went over to like fucking Amsterdam or whatever to see some, like, we went to some kind of museum or whatever, and on the way back we stopped at a cafe for lunch, and that cafe just happened to have free Wi-Fi, so obviously I picked up on it. I checked Discord, I see a message from May where she said that she basically told me that she thinks, or she thought that the guy that she was seeing at the time was a mistake. Later I found out that what actually happened was apparently that guy had to like move like decently far away, and they couldn't really talk anymore, and she was really sad about it, which I mean is understandable. After that, she completely disappeared from everywhere for about maybe 2.5 weeks. After that, she came back. She told me she was doing a little bit better. She started to kind of recover. Those 2.5 weeks were pure torture for me, because I had no way of contacting her. I had no other socials of her other than her Discord. I didn't have her Instagram. I didn't have, like, I don't know, her fucking phone number, obviously. So I was just sitting there for 2.5 weeks in pure fear, continuously thinking that what if she doesn't come back? What if this is the end? Thankfully, it wasn't. After that, she came back. She was getting better, and after that, things went smoothly for a little while. I then also got a job, a part-time job around like summertime. School had like just ended or was about to end. I got a job, and I pretty much entered my golden days with May. And something happened, and this is something that's pretty memorable for me, because I remember one day I had no school anymore, and I was just standing in my kitchen making myself a fucking sandwich, because I was home alone for pretty much the entire day. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, it's chill day. So I had gotten my laptop, I just chilled out. I was watching YouTube the whole day. I was watching like live streams, long let's plays, and I just went downstairs to make myself some lunch. And May was actually on holiday with her parents at that moment, and she had told me that there was a guy at like where she was that was trying to like hit on her. He was trying to like flirt with her and shit. And I thought to myself, oh, the next contender is here. But then when I went to the kitchen just to make myself like a fucking sandwich or something, I hear my phone like ting, as in like I have a new message on Discord, and I check it, and it's a message from May saying that she doesn't want to date the person who was trying to hit on her because it was basically a big explanation of like her thinking she has like a better connection with me and all that kind of shit. And even though thinking about it, again, it's Discord, so it really doesn't mean that much. But obviously I was young, I was stupid. I'm still young, I'm still stupid. But I'm a bit smarter now than I was back then, at least. But I was young, I was stupid. It meant the world to me, because we knew each other pretty well. She was a dear person to me, and I mean, you know, text or not, like a good friend of yours telling you something like that, it just hits right where it should. And I don't think I've ever had a better feeling in my life than coming home from my part-time job, because I had a really shit schedule as well, because I planned in my schedule so that it would fit with my school, even though my school ended like 2 weeks after I got the job. So I worked like late in the afternoon, so I got home at like 6 or something, like 6:30. But just that feeling of getting home, checking my phone, and just being spammed with messages from her. It was a good feeling. It was definitely a good feeling, and those are probably our like golden days together, because after that it went downhill really quick. And this next section is probably why this is the most important story of my life. A few weeks after this happened, we went on holiday for 3 weeks to Italy, and we went there by car, so it was a 2-day road trip, which means that I will be in the car for 2 days straight, not being able to talk to anyone, including May. So I told her like, oh yeah, I won't be there for 2 days, but I'll text you as soon as we arrive. And she was all like, oh yeah, I'm so sad, I'm gonna miss you, blah blah blah. Basically just, you know, wholesome stuff. And when I got there, like I promised, I texted May. Didn't get a response for the first day. Second day, I got a message saying that she was not having a great time and that she would be gone for a while. This made me worry the fuck out of my skin, because there was zero context to this. Everything was perfectly fine with her, at least from what she was telling me up until that point. So I had no idea what was going on. And she was gone this time for about a month. We got back, it was still another like week until she came back. When she did come back that month later, first of all, it was a big relief to have her back. She told me that she really was not doing well. After that, it took her a while to recover. And thinking about it, I never know if she actually fully recovered. I doubt it. But she at least recovered somewhat. And then we had what basically was our last period of kind of chatting with each other on like a daily basis. After that, she told me she wanted to delete her accounts because there were people that she still had friended on that account that had like a lot of her like other social media and stuff, and they were just creeps and she wanted to get rid of them. So she said that she was going to delete that account and come back and find me on a new one. And I was like, oh, okay, that shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Boy, was I wrong. She deleted her account about like Christmas time, maybe just after. And I was expecting for it to be like a, you know, a couple day thing. Because I mean, let's face it, making a new account, it doesn't take too long. And boy, was I wrong. She came back March 2020 on an account that she had on a phone that she bought behind her parents' back, because those fucking cunts monitored all her contacts and she basically was not allowed to talk to me. Bought a phone behind her parents' back, risky shit, found me, and we kept talking. It did not last long. It lasted about... It lasted a couple months. It was going alright. We could not talk too much because obviously it was a hidden phone and she couldn't be online a lot because like lockdown was happening and everything. It was just about when the like virus started to become a thing. Lockdown was like initiating everywhere, so everyone was home quite a lot. So it was quite difficult for her to be online, obviously, because she had to hide the phone. And after a few months, on May 28th, I checked Discord and I saw that her second account turned into a deleted account too. Since that day, I have never heard from her ever again. Never. I have not heard a single word of what happened to her. Knowing her background, it's a far stretch of what actually happened. The possibilities are big. Because, yeah, that's basically one of the biggest stories of my entire life, because usually my friend group switches up quite a lot. This time, however, this person stayed in it a really long time. Anyway, I'm tired to all hell, so I'm gonna end this video now, and I'm gonna go sleep. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, peace.